Christmas and said, oh, another Christmas.
Reynolds.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, good evening, calling to order the Revere School Committee meeting of the whole. January 20th, 2026, we'll all rise and salute the flag.
Where was it today?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Hey. Yeah, Ms. Mulberry Ellis,
Present?
Ms. Rizzo,
Yeah. Yeah.
Mr. Rolimi,
Present.
Mr. Demiano,
Present.
Mr. Kingston,
Present.
Ms. Biasella.
Yeah.
Is Ms. Monterosso on?
She is not.
Okay, Ms. Monterosso don't here, we have Dr. Kelly, Dr. Kaba,
Mr. Kajan is gonna be a
Oh,
few minutes late.
Mr. Caggiano is gonna be a little bit late, okay? Dr. Kelly, Dr. McCava, and Matt Cruz. Are you a Dr. Matt Cruz? No, just pretend to be one?
You should say,
Halloween.
he has to deal with that office, he's being a doctor.
Psychiatrist.
Okay, so we have the, Ms. Monterosso? Present, all right, Ms. Monterosso's here. So we have the, attached warrants, or, sorry, approval of the minutes,
Motion to approve.
Mr. Damiano?
The minutes from the organizational meetings, I just wanted to correct, on the when we nominated, Ms. Monterosso as the vice chair, I just wanted to make a correction. I actually nominated her and Mr. Kingston seconded. Whereas if it's wrong page, please excuse me. Item number one, Mr. Kingston should say Mr. Damiano, and second, where it says Mrs. Milbury Ellis should say Mr. Kingston.
Did you get that, Robin?
Any comments? Okay, any other changes to the minutes? Okay.
Need a second?
We don't,
Motion to, well, we approved it there.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
All right,
Let's keep moving it.
we got warrants attached. Anyone have any questions on the warrants?
Mr. Caggiano is arriving as well.
Okay,
he may have questions on this.
No. I have one question.
Ms. Rizzo. Let the record reflect, Mr. Caggiano's present.
Yay. Matt, the prices for number 90 through 104 for MBTA, is that a yearly pass?
No.
For 60,000?
10-month pass.
10-month pass?
And we get billed monthly. It's interesting, each of the 5 assistant principals or operations coordinators have to go into the portal each month, pull down the activity. And so this is a lot of payments because we were catching up on the first few payments and everything situated. So now you'll see 5 invoices per month paid for the 3 middle schools, high school and city level.
Okay. It sounds better.
Okay. We're on warrant, we're on warrants, yeah, any questions?
I already reviewed them all set.
Any other questions on warrants?
No.
Ms. Rizzo?
And number 402, the underground storage tank for 19,000, is that at Beechmont or Garfield?
When you say number 402, for me, that looks like electricity. Oh, Fuston O'Neill. No, that's neither. That's the McKinley.
McKinley.
Oh, really?
What is it, removal of a tank?
Yeah, there was a
maintenance.
removal and there was also some remediation.
Yeah, okay.
Correct. So was that like the ESSER back charges and the swap?
That was funds that is charged to the capital outlay account. So that's where our contribution to the McKinley project is housed. We'll see Fuss and O'Neill and a few other payments going forward a little bit longer.
Okay.
We will
But
not
that is
see,
from our SR
yeah,
funding.
we will not see payments, for the project manager or the designer from the late liquidation. But Fuss and O'Neill had been encumbered prior for those services.
And just, the number, the total number for the removal of the oil tank and the soil remediation was over 100,000, so you may, like I said, you may see more for some of the fussing costs, which probably was in that 60 to 100 range, I can't remember off the top of my head. But it's done. No more soil, no more tank.
Thank you. Walk through there every day.
Mr. Early,
Matt, I have a question for 468 on page 15 of 20. The tuition to mass schools, is that the highest one? Because I see other ones that lowest. This one is 183K.
What's happening there is that Minuteman and Essex bill us semi-annually. Whereas the other schools bill us monthly. So you're seeing this payment through December, the first half of the school year. And then you'll see another large payment like that for the second half of the school year. So if you see Minuteman or Essex this year anyway, that's how that's being paid on a semi-annual basis. The others are monthly. So that's why it's smaller. Also, most of the others is student by student. Whereas Essex groups the 16 students in a single bill. That would be an exorbitant monthly cost for a single program.
okay,
Thank you.
good question. Any other questions on warrants? Financial reports? Any questions from Matt?
Quarterly financial report. So just two little housekeeping pieces on the backup. One, there's a spot that says copy center staff. It's actually the account that houses both our communication director and our copy center clerk. So they're both in there. That's why that number is a little bit higher than you would imagine from copy center clerk. The other thing to remember is this middle column in the backup that says expended and encumbered. So for any of our non-salary accounts that allow for the encumbrance of purchase orders, we're treating those encumbrances as spent money. So legal services or cleaning services or some other places, you'll see a huge number there. It doesn't mean we have expended all of those funds. It means that purchase orders have been encumbered for those purposes. As opposed to payroll accounts that don't have purchase orders associated with them. We're only showing what's been spent so far in the detail. So just to house cleaning on the details. The most important thing to focus on, and then we can take any questions. The projection column over on the right. So this report is meant to say, number one, we're not trending to be out of money, right? Right. Number two, hey, as we're trending, what are we looking at for surpluses from current year funds, if any? And so the first question you're asking yourself is, are any of these series trending to a deficit as a cost center? And you can see that a few are close. So we've got our eye on admin, and the 9,000 series is just over. But should be fine because we encumber for the year, and then if students move or transition out, the bills don't come due. And then you can see a 0 right now for the 5,000 series. We just paid the bill, did the transfer for the workers' comp costs, so they didn't hit the report yet. So that says 0. Workers' comp is trending well, unemployment is trending not so well. So there's no deficit coming in there. That 0 will be a firmer number in the third quarter. So there's no series that we're having to take action on as of the end of the second quarter. And then we've broken it out between school department monies and city side monies. That just means our appropriation is this top half. The transportation and any other items that we're spending for the city is the bottom half. That's to delineate at the end of the fiscal year, if there are funds available, these school department monies are net school spending required to carry through and be reappropriated next year. The city side monies, it's the city's money. We're running those programs as lean as we can. If there is a surplus there, that money reverts back to the city's general fund at the end of the year. So we're delineating those two things. You can see those notes. Those are the big ticket items. Any other questions on the quarterly financial report?
Is the 3,000 series, is that transportation?
Transportation's embedded in there, but
Okay.
that's also what DESI considers, anything that's not instructional or administrative, but in support. So that would be things like health, nurses, athletics, attendant, parent liaisons, family liaisons, security guards. Transportation, anything that's supporting the instruction is in that series.
But that's why you see a 3,000 up under the school department monies, a 3,000 series up there, which covers a lot of what Matt just mentioned.
Mhm.
And a 3,000
Oh,
series
okay, yeah.
under the city, which is mostly the transportation. And a couple of other things. And one other thing I just wanted to mention with the 1.2 projection, we were thankful to the state who found their minds over the summer. And gave us that extra reimbursement on circuit breaker that helped
Mhm.
have that money available after the school committee had approved the budget. So that will go to the city.
Will that be, will that be carried over back into transportation?
So it could be reapplied next year into transportation, but city money, we don't carry forward a reserve. We have to put it into, it has to get put into free cash or some sort of a different account. It's not the same as where they can not hold back, but if it's under 5% of unspent money, the school can kind of hang on to it.
Okay.
We have to turn it back in. And then it gets distributed through our free cash and then reallocated the following year, general budget has to be appropriated. So it's a little different financing and rules. But the hopes is I think a lot of the state numbers are coming out this week, right?
Next week,
Next
next Thursday.
So we'll have a lot of information on which way we're heading next year, but, and we'll have good details on how to go, but I think we're always gonna work well together. Right, Matt? We're gonna work well together.
Yep.
Good. Thank you. Any further questions? Food service financials?
Okay, so this is our food services financials report. This is through the first 4 months and a few days of the school year. So it's as of ending December 31st. We wanted to give the new vendor some time to get their feet under them and see where we're at. So we gave you numbers and then dropped 6 notes down at the bottom referring back to them. So as far as operations, the first thing to be aware of is we have less kids in the district this school year. That means less breakfasts and lunches being served. And so any red numbers here are primarily affected by decreased enrollment, as well as the new company getting their feet, under themselves in a district that they hadn't been in for a while. The second thing is this contract has a guaranteed return to the program given agreed upon costs. And the reason this was awarded to a different vendor was the guarantee that they provided in their bid. So that guarantee is $150,000 and change.
Yikes, like, what does that mean?
So that means that at the end of this school year, when we get down to whatever the profit or loss was from the operations of the program, given the costs that were agreed upon in the request for proposals, they will be returning to the district at least $150,322 to the program.
So we pay them a certain amount at the beginning, and then we have at least guaranteed this surplus that they return for X reason.
Well, so we're operating the program. We're paying our payroll. We're also paying them for doing their services. We're bringing in receipts through reimbursements or payments. When all that tallies out, regardless of how things went, if the surplus was not $150,322 or more, we're guaranteed to have that basement.
So basically, let me back us up again. When we go out to bid, which we have to do every 3 years for a food services provider, we go out and say, we want somebody to run our food services in the city of Revere. People bid. And they put together a proposal and say, this is what we can do for you. This is why you should pick us. And we're still under state procurement law, so basically we have to pick the company that gives us the best deal. And the company that we have now had the best deal because part of what they said in their proposal is, we guarantee you that you'll have at least $150,000 revenue in the first year from our program.
And how does this interact with universal free meals in the Commonwealth?
So
Is
if you
that the
look at,
reimbursement?
if you see the reimbursements, yeah, that's,
Yeah, if you look up at the revenue section, you see that the largest figure by far is reimbursements for student meals. So that's both breakfasts and lunch at the established rate for each type of meal coming back to us through reimbursements. You can see that the net income to this point for program, taking the guaranteed costs only into account, they're in a deficit, $126,000. So you should look at that and say, whoa, they have to return 150. They're upside down by 125, so they have some work to do. And they know that. They would also say that a first year vendor, it takes a little while to figure the program out. And so profitability increases dramatically in the later months of the year. So that's a number that should have jumped out to you to see that they're chasing a deficit at this point. The next thing we wanted you to look at is the fund balance. So that's the balance in the program itself. And because of I was gonna say fat years or good years during COVID, when the reimbursements were coming and meals may or may not have been served, and we just had really good returns to the program, and we had a great vendor prior. The fund balance surged up to the $2.7 million. That's a good thing. It's also a little bit higher than DESE wants us to have in a program. They preferred for it to be around 3 months of operating costs. So we set a goal coming out of last year that over the next 2 or 3 fiscal years to chip into that number to get it down to 3 months of operating costs. So one of the ways we were doing that is by charging health benefits back to the program for the full-time staff who are in health, receiving health benefits through us. Another is by beginning to charge the program for indirect costs for custodial work, utilities, property liability, those kind of things.
You could do that like mid-contract?
We can do that whenever we want, because we just have to be clear about which costs are contractual
I see.
and which are not.
Okay.
So you can see in our projection here, we're saying, hey, like as of today, that fund balance was down around 2.4 million. It will go up from there because they're gonna either have to increase profitability or find the money to meet the return. So it'll be higher than that, but it's supposed to be decreasing over these 2 or 3 years to the benefit of the district as a whole to get the fund balance to a place that matches out where we want it to be. The last thing we wanted you to look at is, notice that it says net income guaranteed costs only versus net income all costs. So some of those costs that we're charging to the program, like health insurance or indirect costs, are not the responsibility of the food services management company. So they don't have to hit a profit and also cover all the health insurance costs and indirect costs. It's very clear in the contract which costs they're responsible for. So the next time I give you a report, which will probably be April sometime, it will look different with numbers, but we'll have the same setup so that you can see we're holding them accountable to meet the contract promise. And we know that we are decreasing the fund balance in the program overall this year to the benefit of our side of things. And we'll still have 3 months of operating costs. The goal is by FY28 to be there.
So how do they try to go about improving their revenue? Do they like look at what they're serving? Do they like try to like do surveys, see what the kids want, or try to get more people to buy? Or-
I think that surveys to see what the kids would want is probably contrary to saving money. I think that
Okay.
you might see them reduce the number of offerings that they have every day, but one of the things that they've said to us that like Matt was saying, there's a lot of upfront cost when you come in new. To get their systems on board, to buy particular kinds of scanners and
Mhm.
things like that, that talk to their system and our system. So they may have seen a deficit in the first half of the year. They've told us that they are aware of it, they're cognizant of it, and they don't think it's gonna be a problem by the end of the year.
Okay,
So things like that could just correct themselves now that they're fully on board.
okay.
But,
Yeah.
but
So-
also, if they have a certain level, like they're a food service provider and they get paid indirectly through state reimbursement. So if they were projecting to do 8,000 students a year at 2 meals a day or whatever it would be, their expectation is the reimbursement would be for that. So they may have that type of overhead out of their hierarchy, not through the cafeteria work that gets paid by the city, by maybe some of their administration or some of their bigger philosophies. So they might have to adjust that to the student count that's actually coming in.
Mm.
That's why they probably show a loss, because they were predicting to serve 7,500 students, and then they knew that they could give back the district 150,000 minimum. If they're only getting 7,000 students, they're gonna have to eat some of that, and then next year probably work on what their adjusted rate would be. And of course, the only other real way that they'll ever make money is if they did sell something to a student, bag of chips, something that wasn't reimbursed, so,
Mhm.
or, I don't know if teachers buy food or some,
They
you know,
do, yep.
sodas and things like that, the ancillary items that aren't the state reimbursed items, so. They're just gonna have to figure out how to manage their overhead and what they have, and like Miss, Dr. Kelly said, is if they offered 4 entree choices, they may only offer 3, so they don't have waste on that one extra entree choice.
I will say that the feedback I hear, middle school, I hear rave reviews, elementary, not so much. So for what that's worth,
We
you
will
know,
share it.
again, it
Yeah.
depends on who you ask, but I do
Yeah.
I always hear all good things at the middle school level. My daughter who
That's
doesn't
actually pretty
ever eat
impressive
it, she's like, it's good, it was good. I had chicken and rice today, Mom.
Yeah.
They have high threshold.
And
Yeah.
Yeah, they like
they're
it.
happy to come sit at any
Yeah.
of these meetings.
Mhm.
We asked them not to at this one so that we could look at the first 4 months of
Mhm.
just the raw data of the financial performance.
Mm.
And as we get toward the end of the year, if any of the guaranteed costs have accelerated, causing them to miss the guarantee, then we'll be in conversation with them about that. In other words, when you bid, if we say, hey, payroll costs are going to be 3.2 million for the program, and they come in at 3.3 million, then there's a conversation to be had there. The point of this report is to see that there's a little bit of a lag.
Mhm.
We have some time. We're in conversation with them about it. And also, as a administration committee, we're working a bigger plan with food services to take advantage of good years recently to benefit where we need it now.
Mhm.
All of this is kind of intersecting in one big report.
Yeah, and it sounds like this was their expectation, that they go through this with the new school, you know, and having to adjust. So-
Exactly, and I do, you know, the enrollment piece is significant as well, because they
Mm-hmm. Right.
did bid it thinking that we were gonna
I was
have.
gonna ask that, like, is there language in the contract that covers if we don't meet their demand with respect to the number of students where?
Well, that's why we were saying the reason we're bringing this up now is as we get closer to the end. If we're in conversation with them about the guarantee, it would be around those 2 points. One would be if some of the costs that we estimated went higher than in the bid, we can talk about that. The other would be a significant decrease in enrollment. Then the guarantee was based thinking, here's our possible meal served, and that lowered. But I think that what they're trying to do is to say, we have January, February, March, April, May, and June to improve the program, improve the number of meals being served, decrease costs, and we're working to bridge that gap. We wanted to put it before us now so that as we're having those conversations, we know what it is we're
What it
talking about.
is, you know, and we're working together.
Mr. Kingston.
The only other thing that hit me, Matt, was the vending machines. I realized they probably took time to get new machines and all that, but that income, I mean, $31, I mean, it has to be reported, I guess, but
You should sit in my office when I'm working with $2.7 million program. And there's a $31
$31, yeah,
line.
that's what I meant. Yeah.
So they have so much that they're figuring out that I did not press them on it.
No,
It's a very good
it's a
point
very-
to bring up of, is there an accounting difference there? Um,
I'm wondering if
or-
they brought new machines in and they just haven't got up to speed on them and.
right, were they just not available since the first few weeks
Yeah.
of school?
So
So,
$31 isn't much of a problem.
Yeah, and it's not like when we were kids and you could actually get a variety of things in the vending machines, all they sell is water. You know, so,
We didn't have.
and now we have the water filling stations everywhere, so, you know,
Mhm.
I would be surprised if that's an accurate
One
number.
question I want to, do we get feedback from each of the schools on
The,
how the food is? Because, like I said, with Aisha, I'm hearing mixed too, but are we hearing anything? Because if they're in a deficit, I don't want the quality of the food, what they promised them at the beginning,
yeah.
to diminish, that's all.
More
They-
children.
They do meet with the students, but I'll ask Martha to give us an update on that, on which schools she's already met with, or maybe we can have them come to that April meeting and do an update then, but they were very open to meeting with the teams of kids, in particular up here at the high school. I'm not sure if she's gotten out to the middle schools, but on that.
Thank you.
Susan?
How many administrators do they have from their company working?
so the way that contract panned out is that there's three, what you would call administrators working. I forget the exact titles. Then they have an hourly admin support. And so they're managing their own costs. And then, they work with us in managing our payroll so that shifts are streamlined and there's not excess human resource where we don't need it, and it is where we do need it. All of that falls under their purview, which is why they've said to us when we sat with them and went over these numbers. Yes, profitability will increase as we're figuring out, not just ways to serve less meals, but, basic analysis of, hey, last year Beachmont was doing this many breakfasts. This year it's doing this many. Is that a place that some program changes can increase that? That's everything that the general manager and the food services director should be working on now that they have a few months of data to look at.
And they do have, this could impact financially too. So as Matt mentioned, we work closely with the general manager, but we have the director, Martha, who you've all met, who's full-time here in Revere, and the assistant director, Justin, who's also here full-time in Revere. And there's the chef who's here full-time in Revere. That's someplace where they might decide, based on this enrollment and these costs, maybe we only have the chef in Revere 2 days a week or 3 days a week, and we have them somewhere else. So that changes their calculus on what the program is costing as well. But those are decisions that they'll have to make. We wouldn't even weigh in on that.
Okay. Communications?
Just a quick note from the Garfield School that found some antiquated textbooks that they would like to dispose of. Principal King has said that they're not worthy of donation. They're so old. So they'd like to just dispose of those. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
Any questions on that? Okay, there's no enrollment update, personnel. We have new hires and retirements, resignations and terminations.
And I'll just add to, you'll see this on next month's agenda, but resignation from Sarah Humis, who I emailed everybody about today. She's moving on to Georgetown.
Congrats to Ms. Humus.
Yes.
Used to live down the street in Georgetown from my cousins.
Oh, is that right?
So she's going home.
Oh, yeah. She said she,
Can't
about
blame her.
6 minutes from her house,
Right?
so,
Is that a
Big
position
difference.
we would fill?
yes, yeah. And the other one I'll highlight too is that Melissa Lomas has also tendered her resignation.
Is there a reason for that?
I think that she's just trying to figure out what's next, her next step. She's gonna move out of public education. She wants to start an earth-based outdoor school, a forest school it's called,
How
so.
long was she with this?
2 years.
Melissa?
No.
And that she was,
Oh, in this role, this was her third or her second, I don't even remember. offhand. But she was principal at the Hill School before that, so she's been with us, I wanna say 8 years.
Yeah.
Sure.
and we will rebuild the position.
Yes, yeah. I mean, all of these, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna take a deep breath until next week. We're gonna get budget numbers next week, but my goal would be to post the Sarah's job, Melissa's job, and Stuart's job once we understand better where we stand financially.
And, if it's okay if I take a moment on just the positions and things like that, I just wanted to, certainly this is an opportunity where we can talk as a group. But as we are starting to get to that budgetary season and just reflecting on last year, I think the charge is gonna be to the administration. Obviously, they have their fiduciary responsibilities to attain a budget. And if we decide that there's we need to dip into the carryover money or carry forward money, whatever that number is, using a round number, whatever it may be, if we say, hey, listen, we think we're gonna use $1 million or $2 million of the carry forward to sustain next year's school year, I think the charge should be that we need to get ahead of it and let the administration determine what they need to operate the schools. And that doesn't mean Dr. Kelly is the only voice in the room. I think that she needs to, and Dr. Kelly, I think you know this, but you need to be able to work with your principals and your team to determine what they need to work in the buildings. And yes, we can certainly make our comments on it, but we cannot let the tail wag the dog here. We need to allow the administration to run the schools with the appropriate teams that they know they need. And if anyone here is a principal of a school, or if anyone here is an assistant principal or an assistant superintendent, I'll be happy to take your advice too, but we cannot just take it from what we heard on the corner or what we saw on social media or what one person called us for. We have to be disciplined with this. We really, really have to. It is now January. And I can assure you that the administration and the teams are gonna have conversations with people that may have decisions that they may be challenging decisions. But we need to take everything in its proper context. And I think that it would be the respectful way to make sure that we listen to the leaders of the buildings on what they need to run their buildings. So if a principal comes in here and says, I need 3 janitors, and I can make my budget work with the 3 janitors, great. If they say they need 7,
We'll talk
and they
about
can make it work,
We'll
great.
talk about that.
And it depends, I think it's gonna depend on the size of the building and what they need. And I shouldn't use custodians, please, no one worry about that, I'm just using that as a general term.
Mhm.
But it's January, let's not let emotions get the best of us in May and June. Like, we had some difficult decisions last year, and I don't wanna.
I think time had a lot to do with that too.
Certainly.
You know what I mean? Everyone was under the gun and the pressure is on the committee, because at the end of the day, we are responsible.
Right.
So I think starting now and having these types of discussions, but I think the expectation's pretty much known based off of the last go around.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? As to what we need to do, I feel as though we're all on the same page that hard decisions are gonna be made, but
It's just the reality, and that's what we all know, we have to make hard decisions every day, but the reality is, when we talk about declining enrollment, it's gonna be the same when it comes to how much staff you need per the enrollment. So we also understand that, this is where we have to uplift our schools and make sure that we're not presenting more information regarding our schools that is mostly false. What do you think that does to our enrollment? What do
Exactly.
you think it does when we
bad
put out
both our
false,
schools.
when we back up false narratives, when we don't condemn them?
Right.
So I
And-
want to make sure it's important that everyone reflects on it, because our kids go to the schools, your kids go to the schools,
Right.
your neighbors go to the schools.
Yeah, and I think it's also, as a committee, we hold people's livelihoods in our hands, and I hope in this next budget cycle. We don't see instances where committee members make light or make jokes of holding positions, right? That did happen. We have a code of ethics, and it's just a reminder for the whole committee that what we say and how we talk about people's jobs is important with the power that we hold as well.
Thank you for giving me the leeway to talk.
Also, the hiring and letting people go is not us. It's up to the principals to have discussion with administration. And we listen, we might not like it, but don't
And,
follow
uh,
my
no,
son.
I will say that I always want to be respectful of the
Yes.
relationship with the school committee, and your opinions and what you think is important certainly weigh into the decisions that we make. But I appreciate the opportunity that the mayor has articulated to weigh what the principals are saying they need
Mhm.
as the priority. And making sure that we are structuring the district in a way that we feel as the educational experts are gonna serve the kids the best.
Thank you. Okay. Donations, Yes,
Just
grant.
one quick one, we've been working with the state, for on the Gleam grant for a number of years, and, they're giving us another $27,000.
Thank you.
Which we are eagerly accepting. This money is going to be used for the ELA leadership team across the district that's working on literacy at the elementary level, and English language arts curriculum at the middle and high school level. And their focus is on ensuring that there is a high level of rigor in the classroom. So one thing it's gonna do is pay for some substitutes so that we can have teachers released during the school day to do classroom walkthroughs and actually measure the level of rigor and the level of implementation, effective implementation of the Gleam program in the classrooms, and then have some stipend money to pay teachers to meet and discuss that data and look at how they can improve their instruction based on it.
And then for the new members, Dr. Kelly, what is the amount of a grant or donation that causes it to be put on the agenda?
I believe it's 1,000.
1,000.
So
That.
we might receive various donations and grants throughout the years and throughout the weeks, but if anything is 1,000 or more, it comes to us, we have to review it and then we approve it with the consent calendar and the 6 p.m. meeting.
I don't know if I've been in a time where we've rejected a donation, so.
I would hope never.
Well, you never know, there's could be conditions that are.
Give me their names.
I will say also for the newer school committee members, we go after every nickel that anybody puts out there.
Right.
Um,
Mr. Damiano,
just a question for, you, Dr. Kelly.
Mhm.
This Gleam, bonus, I guess we'll call it, right, this grant, do they have any, restrictions or rules? Like, does it have to be spread out throughout each school? Like, do we just get a nice sack of coins and say?
No, it's always restricted. So
Okay.
anytime we get grant money from the state or from the federal government, they basically say, if you can do A, B, C, D, and E, we'll give you this money.
Okay.
And then we basically say, we promise you, we'll do A, B, C, D, and E, and we have to put together a budget that shows how we're gonna meet all of those things.
Okay.
And submit that, and then if they like what we send in, then they approve it and give us the money.
Thank you.
So typically, there's very little leeway on
Right.
what we can spend the money on. But
mo-
that's fine. It's usually focused like this one is around professional development and ensuring that we have effective instruction in the classroom. And if we can give teachers a few dollars to do that work,
Sure.
then that's a great thing.
Thank you.
and just so you know, when it comes to grants, with, just like city revenue, and you know, the auditors do a very good job of making sure that it's incorporated to the right accounts and it's spent accordingly. So, you know, we have, on the city side, think about all of the, American Rescue Plan money. It is extremely specific and, you know, sometimes, you know, it's difficult because it needs to be appropriated to the right, what we said it was gonna be spent towards. The same thing goes for the schools. If there's certain, funds it's supposed to go into, it's not just like, hey, goes to wherever they wanna spend it. So, we do a good job. I will say that's one of the most impressive things I've learned being, in the city, role for the last few years. Is it'd be great to be able to spend the money how you want to, but it's very directed when it comes to certain grants. And our team's very, very thorough.
Dr. Kelly, is there any one that in charge for the grant writer and follow up and get these recurring donations, like for example, this one, and we can follow up next year, hey, let's go to that same organizations.
Basically, everybody is charged with doing that, but all of the principals and and the curriculum directors, the leads, along with the assistant superintendents and myself, like we really go digging for the grants. We're at all of the state meetings where we find out about this stuff, or at the federal level. With the private grants, like a lot of what we're doing at City Lab is funded by the Bar Foundation. They've been really helping us out. In fact, you'll remember that, Principal, Dr. Mulligan came and spoke to you about her Bar Foundation grant that she's planning for next year. And she just found out today, I don't even have the official piece of paper, but they've awarded her $50,000 to do that work. So that's great. But we don't have a dedicated grant writer, to answer your question. We have a dedicated staff member in the business office who gets the budget that was submitted and approved by whatever organization, whether it's private, state, or federal. And she is in charge of making sure that budget is met and meets with the grant supervisor, which is the person who wrote the grant quarterly, to do the kind of check-in that Matt just did with us. Where are you on target? Where are you off? Make sure you're not overspending. Why aren't you spending this line item? And she's the grant manager who oversees that for all of the state, federal, and private grants that we have. And then Lorenzo, Danielle, and Richie, depending on where the grant is from, are also great nudges at making sure people are following the grants and expending them as they're supposed to.
I'll echo that. I feel like our district goes after everything. And when I was at DESI, there wasn't a grant that I didn't see Revere Public Schools like receiving or applying. So I always send stuff and you're like, we already applied or we haven't. So our team's definitely always ahead of it.
Yeah, we also like to be, a lot of the Department of Education grants are when they're trying something new or a new implementation that they're gonna require from districts. And we like to be on the front edge of all of that, because then when something becomes an actual policy that we have to meet, we were a part of the forming of what that policy was gonna be. Because it's usually like an innovation grant, where they're trying new things before they set what the policy is. And we like to be on the front edge of that so that we can, first of all, inform it, but also be well positioned when we're held accountable to meet those requirements that they put, in the different grants.
Okay. All right, field trips, fun stuff.
Field trips, we've got 5. All of them are, we hope so, field trips. So other than the first JROTC one, I believe they're already accepted at that one. They have to do well there. That's the regional competition in Perry, Ohio. They have to do well there in order to be accepted into the second field trip, but we wanted to put it on school committee radar because it is out of state and overnight. Both of those ROTC grants are fully covered by the Army. They're paying the expenses and the fees. And then after that, there are 4 robotics competitions. The first one is out of state, not overnight. That's in Merrimack on February 21st, which might even be on the vacation week. I'm not positive.
Yeah.
And then they have the New England competition in Burlington, which hopefully they'll do well at, which would then put them in the district championship in Springfield. The Springfield one is in state, but it's overnight, so it's before you. And then finally, if history will repeat itself, we'll be at the World Championship in Texas again at the end of April, beginning of May.
Awesome.
And we have to approve any field trips that come to us that are overnight or out of state, and our policy requires that they come to us at least 30 days before to vote.
Ms. Rizzo,
Hi,
hi.
Dr. Kelly, I'm just gonna, I'll put them back in the folder. ROTC hasn't had the principal signed off
Okay,
yet,
we'll have them signed
and-
after.
and Chris Bowen is still in 25 like me,
Oh, boy, okay,
so
we'll update those.
not a biggie, but.
Talking about the field trips, especially the out-of-state field trips, do we have in place liabilities, waivers and all that?
We do, absolutely, yeah, and all of the families have to sign off before a student can attend an out-of-state or overnight field trip. Even our in-state day field trips, the parents have to get permission for it.
Any other questions on field trips? Nope. Any other business? Ms. Montroso?
Oh, the school calendar, no.
Okay. Calendar for 26, 27.
School calendar, and I don't know what I did with mine, there it is. The one thing I want to give the committee something to think about is there is a preliminary election on September 1st. So the beginning of our school year is already looking like it's gonna be a little bit choppy. We would come back on the 24th with staff only. And then, the kids would have their 4-day week like they always do. And then they'd have a 4-day week after that, leading into, the Labor Day weekend, which is a little bit late this year. Labor Day is not until the 7th.
So they'd start school on the Friday.
They would start school on Tuesday, the 25th. Do you see where it says first
Oh,
day?
I see. Okay, yep, I was in,
25.
no, what's this, what month is this right here?
September.
August 24th.
Oh, they said August, that's right,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
They're gonna start on
Um,
Okay, on the Tuesday, yep, I see.
25th, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So my question is gonna be, and let me just talk you through what this calendar looks like, and then we can discuss it. The question is gonna be, do we wanna have school on September 1st or not, due to the primary election? And then to carry that through, it really doesn't impact the interior of the school year. Where it impacts is the end of the school year. And so if we have school on September 1st, then the last day would be on Monday, June 14th, barring snow days.
Sorry.
As opposed to as opposed to the Friday before.
No. If we do come,
If we do come to school on the first.
if we do come to school on the first
Then the
of
last day of school
September,
would be-
then our last day would be Monday, June 14th. If we don't come to school on the first, then the last day would be Tuesday, June 15th. And then we have, you can see I put snow days in
What
there.
election is it? Is it gonna be?
State office.
And
State representative. State office.
so there might be a Republican primary. For governor. I don't
have school.
Mr. Kingston.
The other thing, Dr. Kelly, we usually go back the Monday before, well, the teachers will go back the Monday before Labor Day. We're actually starting a week earlier than, say, we did this year.
We don't ever bounce off of Labor Day. We bounce off of the teacher's contract, which says we can start any day after August 24th.
Right, but I think traditionally we've
Or
gone the
24th
week,
and
gone
later.
back the week before Labor Day.
Well, the calendar falls differently in different years. You know,
And to me.
we could go back, John, and not start until August 31st. That puts your last day of school at June 21st. And I can tell you from my
So
perspective
snow
as a
days.
teacher, I'd much rather be here on August 24th than on June 21st.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
How come the students go 184 days? Is the law 180?
Oh, it is, yes. And over the years, the Revere School Committee has purchased additional days, given raises to extend the school year. And the intended goal is to give the kids more time on learning.
And it helps buffer snow days, correct? If for some reason there was like so many snow days that we didn't want to extend into late June.
Correct. If there was a crazy year that we had insane snow, the school committee could decide if they wanted to forgive some of those days. That's come up in the past and been a little bit problematic in the community because you've paid people to work 185 and a half days. And giving days back can get a little bit contentious, but we could talk about that if it,
contractually, it's, what is in our contract? The teacher's got 184?
the kids do 184 and the teachers do 185 and a half.
Was contractually.
I also have a question for December. I see winter break starts basically on the 24th.
Mhm.
And then I was looking at the data that's gonna be presented by Dakota's later, and I was wondering, do you think the dip in attendance in December is because we start winter break so late into the what some people deem the holiday break?
It could be. This year was funky too, because a lot of districts took the full 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
And we didn't. I don't know, honestly, like, we would have to talk to some kids and see if that's what it was, if that's why they didn't come in. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
August 24th. When we get back June 14th. If it's August 24th.
If we don't take off the primary, the
Yeah,
start date, the 24th would stay the same, 25th would stay the same. So if we still come to school on September 1st, which is the primary, the last day of school is June 14th.
Mhm.
If we take off the primary, then the last day is
15.
the 15th of June. So the question for the committee to decide now before we make a motion and vote on it at 6 PM is, do we want school to happen on primary election day or not?
I'll make a motion to keep it as September 1st.
to have school that day.
I second that.
So we can make the motion formally in the regular meeting, and then we can decide then.
I know I've already had this sent to me by parents saying, is this for real?
Yeah, I got a lot of pushback,
The start of
about
the
the
school year?
24th
Yeah.
instead of the 31st.
Really?
Yeah.
And I was worried about about
I-
attendance on the 24th. The kids not coming
We've
back.
never started on the 30th.
But
We usually
it's a
start
late holiday,
before
I mean,
25th.
Right.
A unique
Yeah.
situation.
I always thought. it
Where did
was
we start? I'm being not having a child anymore. This is like my second fully year, but what did we start? When was the first day of school this year?
The Tuesday before Labor Day.
Which, like,
What number is it?
was it August?
Well, Labor Day was especially early this year.
Right. Was it
very
August
early.
what?
Hold on.
Danielle's
It was
gonna
the
look it
same
up.
number, it was like the same, within the same couple of days the last few years.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah. That's how far back my memory goes, no further.
It was Tuesday, August 26th.
Yeah,
So,
So it's
and
2 day
this year's the
difference.
25th.
And then we had 1, 2, 3, 4 days and then Labor Day was the following Monday.
So, so this year would be the 25th.
For the kids, yeah.
I think it's, yeah.
Literally the opposite of, so we had a Monday. The first Monday was the first last this year. Next year, it's the last possible
Okay,
day.
yeah, exactly.
Will it change, revert back next year then?
No, we'll keep going.
Yeah, so I think next year it'll be like the 5th or the 6th instead of the 7th, right?
Yeah, it just keeps going.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So instead of trying on Labor Day, then we're gonna be starting
We're
school
gonna go
in
back and
September
forth.
in 2 years.
It'll
Oh.
be September 6th.
I tell you, much rather go to school on the first and
Yeah, then-
extend the December holiday.
Then extend or extend.
Yeah,
Then extend.
yeah, if you have the option, then
Yeah,
go
I
to
just,
school during the primary.
I already know a lot of families that.
Is it,
So
the 24th is a half day, correct?
So
No.
there's two provisions of the, oh, what happened here? I don't know what I did. Did I do something that ended this? I'm looking at Paul.
The-
I think it ended.
Well,
I think this shut off.
The meeting ended?
Yeah,
What time is it?
We can keep
I
going.
didn't put.
5:53. Maybe I'm wrong.
You guys don't have internet issues? Internet's been down in my house since.
Yeah,
then.
I thought that's Tom,
Oh,
Yeah.
RCN, you know.
Same.
Put it off,
Off,
right?
the owl went out. Did that thing need to be plugged in?
Is. Should.
Power. Yeah, phone over to the house, must have strips on. No strippers on.
They pay electric?
It was Matt. We paid.
I see it in the bills.
I think we can just finish this up ourselves.
Well, let me, so the one thing that would impact that, Jackie, is, there's two provisions in the teacher's contract that we need to be cognizant of. One says that the day before the winter break will be a half day for students and
Okay.
staff. And that there cannot be a 1-day work week,
Oh,
right.
except for the
right.
last week of the
That's
school
right.
year.
Okay.
That's why
So-
it is the way it is.
Yeah, so we could leave it as it is, or we could take that
Whole week.
whole week. I could talk to them about taking that whole week off. I don't know how that half day would,
Nah, I think we wait till the negotiations next time around.
Yeah.
Bring it up then,
to change it then.
because otherwise it's just gonna be a hassle.
Yeah, okay, so we'll finish discussing this at the regular.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay.
Aye.
I know, I feel like something got screwed up.
Seems like it's still hot. Seems like it's shut off.
Oh,
I don't know.
it didn't end, they just couldn't find it on the queue,
Five
but
and
they can
fifth and
hear,
eighth,
there's still
it's up.
live.
8th and 6th.
You shut off the camera because I can.
Oh,
see it down
sorry.
there and hear it.
8th and 7th.